If I was somebody who hadn't tried Maplestory 2 yet and I was thinking about it, I think one of my top questions would be, is Maplestory 2 pay to win or not? And does it have any plans to be a pay to win game in the future? I think this is a really important question that a lot of people who play free-to-play MMOs have, especially considering that there are just so many free-to-play MMOs out there that are really pay to win. And also given that Maplestory 2 is by Nexon, a company that is very notorious for having pay-to-win games, it's definitely something worth researching and doing a little investigation before trying out a game. So as somebody who's been playing the game for a few weeks now, pretty much non-stop every single day, I've been pretty addicted, I'm not gonna lie. I thought I would go ahead and give you guys my feedback and my opinion on if I believe the game is pay-to-win or not. So we'll go ahead and start off with the official statement of Nexon, as well as just the official accepted community response to the game being pay-to-win or not. Now, Nexon has stated that they don't have any plans to have a pay-to-win system in Maplestory 2, and that they actually ended up completely revamping the entire monetization system of global Maplestory 2 compared to Korean Maplestory 2. Now, the Korean version of the game is very, very pay-to-win, and the monetization system in Cash Shop is much, much different when you compare it to global. So the global version focuses much, much more on cosmetic items, things like mounts, and especially housing features. That's something you can end up spending a ton of money on in this game. But when it comes to the conventional sense of pay to win, in the sense of bringing your character more power, more gear, more damage, etc., etc., Maplestory 2, the global version, does not have pay to win features in that sense. So overall, Nexon's official statement is no, the game is not pay to win. They don't have any plans to make it pay to win in the future, and the community response seems to agree with that so far as well. I've watched a few videos of content creators talk about this a little bit, and I think it seems to be the accepted community response that the game doesn't have pay to win features in it. At least not now anyway. Now let me go ahead and give you guys my feedback. I agree with the community for the most part. I really do think that when you take a look at the cash shop of Maplestory 2, when you take a look at the things that you can end up buying for real money, I think for the vast most part, there really isn't anything pay to win that you can end up spending with real money. I think that there's a few iffy items that I wouldn't really say that they're pay to win, but I think that they're starting to get to the border where if it gets any worse or if a snowball effect starts to happen, it could definitely cross into the realm of being pay to win. But I think right now, things are very acceptable. And honestly, when you compare the cash shop of Maplestory 2 to any of other Nexon's games, it's really surprising. I mean, some of Nexon's games go absolutely crazy. The game that I mostly end up doing videos on, Maplestory Mobile, the mobile version of the game, much different story. Let's not get into that though. Anyway, so that's the community response. That's the game's official statement. Now let me go ahead and tell you guys a few items and a few little things that I've observed over the last couple of weeks of playing the game that I would say, if I were to point out a couple of things, these are the things that are the most noteworthy that might start to slip into the realms of possibly being pay to win, or at least being on that border. So let's go ahead and take a look at the game's optional subscription, which is called Premium Club. So it is an optional subscription. Essentially, you can pay money monthly, or you don't even have to do it monthly. You could just pay for time vouchers, and you get a bunch of benefits while this is active. But it is optional, and you don't have to end up having it in order to play the game. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Premium Club screen right here. So these are all the features that you're going to end up getting. As you can see, I have 47 days and 18 hours, and if you open up this little screen, you can see that there's going to be several different ways that you can end up adding Premium Club. It's actually also very affordable. I know that's a weird thing to bring up in this video, but 30 days is only 490 merits, which is the equivalent of $5. So it's not too expensive if you really enjoy playing the game. It's a great way to help support and get some pretty good benefits as well. But let me go ahead and take a look at the benefits, and you could see what it really has to offer. Grants an additional 20% experience in mesas from defeating enemies. Now, I'll talk about all of these in a little bit more detail, because at first glance you might think, whoa, that's crazy, so man, that's really pay to win. Well, I'll talk about it in a second why that's really actually not that big of a deal. Reduces the catalyst cost of required equipment by 10%, reduces meso handling fees for trades by 50%, reduces item trade fees in the black market by 20%, increases character movement speed by 5%, party members gain movement speed for ground mounts, you get access to the bank safe from anywhere, you get unlimited use of the taxi system, and you get exclusive premium dungeons and exclusive items daily. So, going back to the top, the extra experience, the extra mesos, The leveling process in this game is such a small part of the game that you can end up getting to the max level easily in under a day, and the experience that you're mostly going to get from leveling is going to come from the quest line. So while 20% extra experience might seem like a really big deal, if you end up playing the original Maplestory 1, or mobile Maplestory, experience is really a huge part of the game. It's massive. You're always going to be grinding levels. That's not really the case in Maplestory 2. It's more like a traditional MMO where it takes a short period of time to get to the end game, and then the end game is really going to have the bulk majority of the content in the game. Other things as well, these are all really just kind of convenience features or just little kind of bonuses, like reducing trade fees, reducing black market fees by 20%. They're pretty minor, but these are the kind of things that you would expect for paying a small monthly subscription to help support the game. Just kind of little perks, you know, things that aren't really game breakers, but they do help out a little bit in the long term, and they make you feel like you're at least getting some value for the $5 for supporting the game. Now, probably the best feature, in my opinion, of the Premium Club is going to be the bank safe and the unlimited use of the air taxis. This is actually pretty significant, and why I say that this is going to be the biggest feature is because the unlimited use of the air taxi system is going to allow you to travel to any location on the map, even places that you haven't been before, instantly, pretty much anywhere, for free. And this is going to be very big for a lot of things in the game, especially things like doing your daily missions. Having that feature is going to make doing your dailies way quicker. So this is a huge thing, but I would honestly say that it's mostly a convenience thing. It doesn't really empower your character in any way. You're not going to get a combat advantage. You're not going to really be better in terms of your character just by having that feature, but it is pretty significant when it comes to the overall enjoyment of the game, in my opinion. And the last thing when it comes to the Premium Club is the bonus items. You get 30 really good potions a day. That's probably, in my opinion, I think that this is probably the biggest slippery slope of the Premium Club features, because these potions, you can't get them anywhere else. And they're the best potions, well, I won't say the best potions, but they're one of the better potions that you can end up getting. The fact that you have to have Premium Club in order to get them and in order to use them, definitely a slippery slope for sure, but it's pretty minor. You only get 30 of them per day, and it's not like having these potions is going to give you such a massive advantage that it's really going to have a massive impact on your game experience. So overall, I think the Premium Club, it's fine. I think that, you know, the potions maybe is a slippery slope. Everything else really does seem to mostly be a convenience thing. Now, there's a couple of things in the market, really only one big thing in particular that I am a little bit concerned about, and let's go ahead and open up the cash shop. Now, if you actually take a look at the cash shop, pretty much everything here is going to be cosmetic items. I would say 95% of the items in the cash shop are all going to be cosmetic. In fact, there's an entire design shop where other players can design items, and you can end up buying them with merits, which is cash shop currency, and then the other players who design the items will actually gain those merits. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but it's a pretty cool system. And if you take a look at the cash shop, the bulk majority of it is going to be cosmetic items, mounts, and things like that. Now, the functional tab, this is going to be the tab in the cash shop where the items are going to have more impactful effects on gameplay experience. I guess that's the best way of really saying it. I think the biggest slippery slope item here, without a doubt, is the elixirs. They only cost 7 merits, but that's 7 merits each. That's the equivalent of 7 cents each. And these are the most powerful potion in the game. These restore 50% of your health, and it's very difficult in order to get these without actually buying them in the cash shop. There are a couple of methods, but it is pretty difficult, and you definitely won't have an unlimited access to them. So buying these in the cash shop for merits is a slippery slope, and I think that overall, out of everything in the monetization of Maplestory 2, I think having elixirs in the cash shop is probably the biggest thing that you could call pay to win, because these potions are going to come in very handy and a lot of different endgame features. It will definitely trivialize a lot of endgame content that you might normally be struggling on. Some people might make the argument that that might not be true, but definitely the biggest slippery slope out of everything in here so far. Now, there's some other functional items as well, or some other things like the auto gathering badge. This is something else, but really that's just I think this is a great example of an item that is pretty good, but it's purely convenience. All it does is save you a little bit of hassle of having to click the gather button over and over again. So most of the things in the cash shop are totally okay, in my opinion. I think the elixir is the one thing that is on that slippery slope. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is a feature that is available in player houses that most people have not really explored too much about, and that is the assistant system. So let's go to start furnishing. If we go to assistants, here they are. So what assistants do is you can actually go ahead and place them in your own home at the cost of merits, and they also have a monthly salary. So you have to essentially pay a monthly subscription of premium currency in order to have these hired inside your own home, and each of these assistants is going to be able to craft items for you. Now, I think that's slippery slope. This is definitely, in my opinion, probably this and elixirs are the two biggest slippery slopes of crossing the border of pay to win in the game so far. And the big reason why I say that is because some of the items that you can end up crafting from assistants, you can't actually end up crafting them normally yourself. At least not yet. People say that you will be able to in the future, but right now, like the beverage assistants can craft certain beverages and potions that are really, really powerful, much more powerful than the normal herbs that you can end up getting. So being able to pay monthly for assistance is also on that border of slippery slope. But when you really think about it, this entire video, and given the fact that this game is by Nexon, there's only two slippery slopes, and that's it. There's the elixirs, and then there's the assistance when it comes to player-owned housing. Besides that, everything else is cosmetic. The premium club seems to be pretty balanced, and I really do honestly agree with the vast majority of the community feedback that the game is pretty not pay to win. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, yeah, if you're really skeptical, you could go ahead and say that these slippery slopes like the assistants and the elixirs are pay to win, but I think that they're just slippery slopes and crossing the border, and that's pretty much it. Besides that, I think the game is very, very, very well balanced for the Western market, and I think it's definitely worth checking out. If you guys are a bit skeptical when it comes to the question of pay to win, is it not pay to win, I think it's definitely worth checking out. And I'm hoping that you guys agree with a lot of what I said in this video, but obviously when it comes to this question, a lot of stuff is going to be up to everybody's own opinion, so you might not end up agreeing with absolutely everything that I said, but I wanted to go ahead and provide my insight nonetheless. So hopefully this helped answer the question a little bit of if Maplestory 2 is pay to win, if it's not pay to win, and if you guys enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like. It really does help out a lot. And if you guys are interested in more Maplestory 2 videos in the future, consider subscribing and turning notifications on, of course. And that's going to be about it. So let me know in the comments section what your guys' feedback is, what your guys' experiences, if you have been playing the game, your opinions on if it's pay to win, not pay to win, and the things that I talked about in this video. And if you guys are thinking of trying the game, but you haven't really made that decision yet, and there's something that's kind of blocking your mind from making that decision, let me know and I'll try to help you out with it. And that's going to be about it for this video, so thank you guys for watching. And of course, I'll mention very quickly, there is a giveaway. It's a monthly thing. I mention it last 10 seconds of pretty much every video. But if you guys are interested in an iTunes or Google Play gift card, I do this just once per month as my way of saying thank you and giving back. There's a link in the description close to the top that says October giveaway. All you have to do is be a subscriber to the channel. That'll give you 2 tickets. And then leave a like or comment on the video. That'll give you a bonus ticket for 3 tickets, 3 chances to win. So good luck to those of you guys who want to go ahead and enter that. That's going to be it. Have a fantastic day. And until next time, this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.